If you like Overreaction and if you like the Daniel Blair Show, then you are going to love Main Event Moto. Come hang with us over at patreon.com/Main Event Moto. We see the comments. We know you want more. We know you want longer. Well, that's what we do at Main Event Moto. We have long-form podcasts where we break everything down layer by layer, and we have a really, really good time. Sometimes too much fun, and that's the point. So come join us over at patreon.com/Main Event Moto. Let's party. So many storylines heading into Seattle, but there can only be one lead story, and it's inmate 38, Haiden Deegan. Just kidding. We'll get to him in Overreaction. No, it's Chase Sexton, and talk about a slap back. Wow, nice work. Birmingham was a huge win for Chase, one of the biggest of his career, actually, because he finally did what he's been avoiding to do for way too long. He looked in the mirror. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he went on a wild rager in Miami or had a sit down with Miss Cleo, but whatever it was, he finally realized that the guy staring back at him in that mirror was the one holding him back this entire time. And in all honesty, he had no choice. If he'd lost another one, 6 straight, after the break, he'd be done. And I mean done. Especially if he pulled another Arlington and blew race 3 in a Triple Crown again. Talk about deja vu, but no, he looked into the mirror, saw the issue, had a mentality reset, and put together a flawless mental night of racing, and it's on now. After race 1, on the podium, he straight up admitted it and owned it. Mentality reset, and that reset gave him clarity. It showed him where his 2 biggest weaknesses were, and if those changes are permanent, man, he's about to be a whole new level of dangerous. We've never doubted his speed, his talent, his grit and toughness, or his riding fundamentals. No, the dude is flawless. But what we've been questioning, for what feels like forever, is his decision-making, his mentality, and it's always been a double-edged sword that makes him great and puts him on the ground like clockwork. But he finally learned you don't have to win them all to win. Ryan Dungey, Mr. KTM himself, made a career out of that. That was his wiring. It was very intelligent, and it worked. 4 Supercross titles, a legendary run with minimal injuries. I think anyone would take that career and resume. But let's be honest, it's not easy to think that way and race that way and put your pride and ego aside when you're wired to smash people. It's also not easy to change, especially when you've been pretty damn successful with that mindset. The destroy everyone mentality, the I need to win by 20 seconds or it's a failure attitude is hard to shake. But when you're a multi-time champion racing against other multi-time champions, that mentality bites back. James Stewart had the same issue, and it worked for him too, sometimes, a lot of the time actually, but that mentality can also give you a one-way ticket to Indonesia and will eventually lead to burnout and injuries. That mentality bit Chase in Arlington. He needed to smash Cooper Webb, and it cost him big. Barely winning was not good enough for Chase in Texas. Winning with smart math and not an ass whooping wasn't enough. He needed to make a statement. But in professional racing at the highest level, you can't break your competition with a childish and immature approach. The best of the best are too good and can bounce back too fast. Especially Cooper Webb, who was actually fueled by it. Again, that stare into the mirror wasn't pretty. A lot of self-own needed to happen, and for at least one night in Birmingham, he was rewarded for the realization and the self-control. Race 3 was his biggest win of the night, and he lost. Think about it. He learned something else in the off week too, something very important. I'm glad he did, because I was sick and tired of hearing it. Bro, nauseating. He learned that the bike can't be perfect. Wow, it's not actually possible. Not in a sport where the track is changing every minute. And what's perfect on lap 5 won't work on lap 15, and what's perfect on lap 15 may not work on lap 5. It's all about adjusting. That's where the real talent lies. That's where the total package comes from. That's where Cooper Webb smokes everyone. In that long stare into the mirror, Chase realized that he is the one responsible for setting up the bike to begin with. If it's not right, you have to own that. You set it up. You told them what was wrong. They gave you what you wanted, and it didn't work. You. And that is a huge shift in mentality from a guy who has had his finger pointing outward for a year and a half straight. The team wasn't riding the bike. The team wasn't relaying the messages. The team wasn't saying it was good, then bad, then good, then bad. That was you. And in that realization, he realized that the unicorn he was trying to capture, some magic bike that adjusts itself every minute, doesn't exist. And blaming his steed was a losing battle. Chase seems to have figured that out too, finally. But to play devil's advocate here and to put a little disclaimer up before I get too confident in his sudden change and he makes me look like an idiot, it was a Triple Crown. Short races, not a lot of changing going on out there, and we'll see if he can take this 20 minutes. That will be a big test. So let's look forward. Where do we go from here? Well, when Chase is locked in, he's kind of unbeatable with the dudes on the gate. No jet racing, no Eli racing, nobody to match his speed. We've seen his ceiling and it's psycho high. Nobody on the gate can go from 40th to 1st at Hangtown. No one else can do that. In all reality, Cooper can't touch that. But that's not what will decide this championship. This title fight is far from over, especially with an 8-point lead for Coop, who will be festering in his own fail all week. That dude has the gift of bounce back. He's got slap back wired into his DNA, and just because Chase is starting to click doesn't mean he's in the clear. Cooper's been racing with the right mentality his entire life. He doesn't need a reset. In fact, this probably good for Coop. A little reality check and reminder that you ain't racing Kenny, you're racing Chase this year for the title. And 1 week doing everything correctly for number 4 doesn't mean that number 4 won't flip in Seattle and make this entire episode look foolish. Please don't do that, bro. But for Chase, it's all on you, buddy. Keep that mentality locked in and the title is yours. But if he falters again, Webb will be there, sitting in the shadows, foaming at the mouth, sniffing blood in the water, ready to take advantage. And maybe, just maybe, Coop will start playing the games he likes to play on a guy who has a history of giving things away for free. Bring on Seattle, if it happens.
Uppers and downers. Uppers and downers and downers.
All right, this week on Uppers and Downers, we're going to start with the downers, and we'll start with the weather. I mean, it's going to happen, right? It has to happen. This isn't Oakland from a couple years ago. They're going to go racing, right? But man, this sucks. I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. That's a snooze fest, but hey, it's part of the sport. We got 8 open stadiums to close the championship, so it is what it is. But that's my only downer. Let's go upper now, and I want to start with Seth Hammaker. No, he did not win. He did not even get on the podium overall, but let's be honest, if he doesn't fall in race 1 of the Triple Crown, that dude sweeps it. I'm sorry, but he was going to go back-to-back, winning a showdown and then winning a Triple Crown, but he washed the front end, looked like Juju in Glendale. Without that, he goes 1-1-1, and for RJ Hampshire, he was off all night, but I'm up on RJ because he's so stable. He's like the most complete, stable guy on the track. Even when he's off, he's on, and he pulled it together, kept it together, and had a solid night of racing, even though it was probably one of the worst he's ridden, or worst nights he's ridden in a long time. Pretty good for a guy who used to send it into the blocks all the time, and now is like, I guess, the definition of stability. Congratulations, RJ Hampshire. And my final 250 upper is Nate Thrasher. Let's be honest, if the championship was in Atlanta, Birmingham, Jackson, Mississippi, Knoxville, Nashville, Louisville, I mean, if the whole championship was in the South, the dude sweeps the entire championship because for whatever reason, this Southern country boy just gets it done when it's down there. He screams NASCAR to me. I think he should have been a NASCAR driver, but lucky for us, we do have him. He was incredible, and he will be good moving forward, but let's be honest, he is special in the South. Speaking of the South, Aaron Plessinger is definitely looking for an extension. He's looking right into the camera, and he's saying, give me that extension and give me that money in what was the best podium interview of all time, literally telling the fans of Supercross, go buy the bike. Bike's got so much power. It's so great. It's amazing. Go down and buy one. Absolute genius from one of the best marketing racers of all time, who again wants an extension, and he wants it bad. Nice work, AP. And shout out to Mookie. Mookie wasn't feeling great from the practice crash, but he was ridiculous. He's limping all over the place, but he also was on fire, ripping, shredding, and it's good to see because he's one of the most likable dudes in the pits, likable dudes on the track. He was great again, and I hope it continues all season long because he is an A-plus dude in this sport. So that's my uppers this week. My downer, of course, is Seattle. Don't rain us out. Let us have a decent one and at least run, right? I mean, they're not going to cancel it, right? That would be... It's never happened before. Yeah, it did happen once. I mean, ooh, what would that, ooh.
The Daniel Blair Show, sponsored by Motosport.com, Mika Metals, Race Tech, ASV Inventions, and Guts Racing.
It's time.
Supercross fans, it's time to overreact. Actually, let's not overreact. Yes, Danger got arrested. Yes, what he did was dangerous, but let's be honest, it was sillier than it was bad. I mean, he's on family vacation and Brian wanted to play Uno with the family and Danger's like, nah, I'd rather go to county. I mean, Steve Mathis said it best. He wasn't drugged out, biting his buddy's ear off. He was spinning donuts, but still, Vin Diesel, what are you doing? Trying to outdrive your sister? And what are you doing with a fake ID? You trying to club? Huh, Fitty? You trying to club? You into club? Trying to cook chance again? Bro, you got a title to win and millions of dollars on the line. Head back to the beach house, play some Monopoly with mom and dad, and stay out of the pen before you end up holding someone's pocket and getting taken to the real danger zone. I mean, you do look kind of cute in orange. Again, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that good. He was spinning donuts. And speaking of donuts, I'm way more concerned about this superstar. What are you doing, Zoolander? Do you have any idea who the fans of Supercross are? Yes, we may have listened to MC Hammer, but none of us dress like MC Hammer. This dude needs back on the bike fast. We are a photo shoot away from having Duke Gomez light his ass up. Next thing you know, he'll be drinking Bud Light in a bubble bath. Oh, Joe, take that out. No, you know what? Leave it in. I'm just trying to help, and someone has to say it, and someone has to stop it. Kind of like the 450 class has decided to stop O'Doyle right in his tracks. Man, the bully had a rough night in Bama. I mean, it's every single moto now. I actually felt bad. Poor dude is on probation, has to race with his hands tied behind his back. Jeez. And while Hombre's getting smashed, Jet's walking the runway, and Hayden's getting diddied behind bars, you got Joe Shimoda studying up for Seattle. And good to see Christian Craig back, and he brought his mechanic ZZ Top with him. Dude's in his ear like, when you get to the whoops, remember, you got legs, you know how to use them, and you all got fingers, and you know how to use them. So share this video. I'm trying to get paid.
Overreaction. Time to overreact. Overreaction. Let's all overreact.
Main event, motomerch.com. Main event, motomerch.com. Main event, motomerch.com. Main event, motomerch.com.